Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Push Square, and I've been playing Doom VFR, which is the virtual reality version of Doom, obviously, and I wanted to put together a video today, both showing off some PS4 Pro gameplay footage, but also this game is quite ambitious in that it has actually 3 control options. So you can play with the DualShock 4, you can play with 2 PlayStation Move controllers, or you can play with the PSVR Aim Controller. And I know a lot of you will probably want to see, most importantly, how the game plays with the PSVR Aim Controller, so I'm going to start with that. But do please like the video if you're so inclined. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's get into it. So let's start out with the PSVR Aim Controller. So this is the kind of layout that you get on the Aim Controller. It's very convoluted and quite complicated. There is a tutorial that takes you through all the controls, but you've got a lot of options to kind of customize the experience how you want it. So you can choose to move with the left stick, and I'll get into that more in a minute, but you've also got these options to change the turning, so you can turn in increments like in a lot of other games, or you can have a more smooth turning option. So this is the segmented turning. Again, it works very similarly to other games, and you can set it up the angle at which the segments turn, so you can have large increments or smaller increments if you prefer. This is the smooth option. It's a bit too fast. It makes me a bit disorientated, if I'm honest. So I'm going for the segmented turning, which I like. Now, I've got standard movement enabled here, so I'm moving with the left stick on the PSVR Aim Controller, but you're going to see that I'm still going to teleport. This is because teleportation is a big mechanic in this game. So the glory kills from the main Doom game have been kind of adapted here, and they're kind of integrated in a way where when an enemy is low on health or about to die, you teleport into them and that finishes them off. Now, this is quite a cool way of keeping the frenetic pace of Doom alive without causing motion sickness or anything like that. And I actually quite like this mechanic, even though it does look a bit clunky in the video. I think it works quite well, and it's at least a clever implementation of the glory kill mechanic in virtual reality. The problem that I have with the PSVR Aim Controller is that it's designed with the weapon being held in one hand, and if you've ever held an aim controller, you know that the controller is actually designed for you to hold it in 2 hands. So what you end up with, you can see just to the bottom left of the screen is a grenade just hovering in my peripheral vision, and that's there all the time. You do get a grenade launcher later on, but because the game is designed with being played with 2 hands, 2 individual hands, it doesn't actually translate that well to the PSVR Aim Controller at all, in my opinion. So that's of course where the PlayStation Move controllers come in, and I'm just going to switch over to PS Move controllers now to show you that. So this is the layout on the Move controller. Basically, you've got dashing on the face buttons on the left controller, and you've got other sort of actions and quick turns on the right PlayStation Move controller. Now, one key thing to point out here is there's no turning at all, and that is a problem which I'm going to get into in a minute. But you can see I've got both hands individually sort of mapped there. I can move each hand individually. I can sort of toggle between my weapons. It works quite intuitively, but it's not great. The problems are different with the Move controllers to the PSVR Aim Controller, but you can see this makes a bit more sense here. I've got my grenade in my other hand, and I can still teleport. So teleportation becomes a much more important mechanic with the PS Move, because obviously you've got no analog sticks. You can't push forward and just move forward. You have to actually teleport everywhere. You can also dash, and I'll show that off a bit later in the video as well. But here you can see I'm just aiming, and again that glory kill mechanic comes into play. I teleport into the enemy to finish them off. Feels quite good, feels quite great, but I can't turn in increments on the PS Move. At least I haven't found that option yet, which is a big problem. I have to quick turn to do a full sort of 180 degree rotation. But there you can see the grenades make a lot more sense in PlayStation Move, because I can just throw it as I would a ball or whatever else. Okay, so if we move to a more combat orientated scenario, you can see that it does actually move quite fast, the gameplay, as you'd expect of Doom really. And you can see how I'm teleporting into enemies and then quick turning to keep getting a view of what's going on. But I don't have that option to turn in increments or turn around at all. Which is a real problem for me. So I'm going to dash here to get away. That kind of works. You'll dash in the direction you're looking, but it's still not perfect. The game is definitely designed around you having two hands and two move controls, but here you can see it, an aspect where I can't turn, so I'm sort of having to look really hard to my right and shoot with my arm pointed out. It's just not a great way to play the game, in my opinion. So that leaves the third and final option, which is of course the DualShock 4, and the controls here are much what you'd expect from any sort of first-person shooter, virtual reality or not. You do have the same sort of comfort settings that you do with the PSVR Aim Controller, so you can opt to use turning increments, you can opt to simply use teleportation, or just move forward with the left analog stick. But here's the problem with the DualShock 4. So the grenade and the gun are fixed to the left and the right side of your view. You can see like they're not moving naturally at all. They're kind of fixed into the center of the headset, and then you move your head to aim with them. So this looks really odd, frankly. It just looks weird. It works well. You can see I'm having no problem sort of moving around, looking around, attacking enemies and stuff like that. And there are some smart options in the game where it'll automatically change your weapon if you run out of ammo, and just little touches like that. There's quite a bit of aim assist too. Little touches like that make it easier to play. But out of the three control options, I haven't really found one that I like at all yet, and to add to that, I've played maybe an hour and I've unlocked most of the trophies, so while I haven't finished the game yet, it doesn't feel like it's going to be very long. Now, it is only a few pounds. I will put together a full review, but I wanted to put together this controls video for you. Please like and subscribe if you're so inclined. Please tell me what you think about the Doom controls in the comments section. And as always, I hope this is helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Cheers.